Mufasa the Lion King is the next installment within the readapted live-action Lion King franchise. In this video, we will be covering everything confirmed as of now that will occur in this upcoming masterpiece. From major plot points to multiple musical numbers, everything the light touches will be unraveled in this video. We can expect to see the film around summer of next year, for it is slated to release on July 5th, 2024. Now, before the sun sets on my time here, let's get started with the video.
Be our
Is that a challenge?
I wouldn't dream of challenging you again.
This event will happen in the upcoming film and will be a contributing factor towards the tension between Mufasa and Scar's relationship. This clip confirms Scar loses the battle due to the way he says "again," insinuating resentment regarding the outcome that took place. It's more than likely how he ended up with his signature scratch, scrape, scuff. Wait, Scar. Yeah, Scar sounds right.
You've no idea. What am I gonna do with him?
Oh, come on. We both know he should have been expelled from the Pride Lands long ago.
It's clear that Zazu reveals in the past that young Scar did something so horrific, so horrendous, that he should have been banished for his actions,
Should have been expelled from the Pride Lands long ago.
reassuring us that Scar will do what he is best known for: ruining everything.
Kill him.
It's also worth mentioning the actor casted to be voicing young Scar is Kelvin Harrison Jr. This is important because the man has proven his vocal capabilities.
Through all of the pain, I know that hard times.
We also can confirm Barry Jenkins, aka Old Man, stated in an interview that there will be music, specifically musical numbers.
Yes, it is a musical. Please expect musical numbers. Yes, all new songs, it is a music. Really wonderful music numbers. Well, I can say that.
Now, Mufasa does not sing in The Lion King. Will we get to hear him sing in this movie?
I would answer that question, but I might not have a job on Monday, so I will not answer that question.
Tell them the truth!
In addition, with Hans Zimmer returning to compose the soundtrack. It appears the musical approach is heading in the right direction.
Can you feel the love?
Wait a second, the king, as in you know who?
Who rules you know where?
Mufasa does not rule me. He's telling me what to do. His father's strength flickering inside.
Mufasa's encounter with the hyenas, especially Shenzi, was not easily forgotten. Even so, Shenzi took it upon herself to mention his greatness.
Mufasa's far too powerful to challenge.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! And his name is John C.
Meaning Mufasa displayed a great sign of strength and triumphed over the hyenas. Perhaps they should consider putting the past behind them.
Next time I see Mufasa, I'm gonna teach him a lesson he will never forget.
Seriously? Oh, I'm sorry.
You will start a war with Mufasa.
Hyenas and lions have been at war since the beginning of time.
The Lion Pride and the Hyena Clan have been clashing for ages, even before Mufasa was born, so without a doubt we will see some epic paw-to-paw combat. Not only Mufasa shredding through all of the hyenas like a midnight snack,
Cause you look like a midnight snack.
I hope Rafiki pulls up with his stick again. That'd be pretty sick.
Don't be too hard on him, sire. I remember a cub, a certain headstrong cub, who was always getting into scrapes. And he achieved some prominence.
Mufasa was not always a Boy Scout. His early years were full of trespassing, disturbing the peace, and attacking the elderly, just like Simba. However, it's safe to assume he will embrace the responsibility bestowed upon him, get his act together, and run the kingdom like a king. Another matter pertaining to this subject is what Barry Jenkins really tried to shine light on in interviews, informing us of the journey to greatness as opposed to being born great.
Perfect, unimpeachable. We assume that he was always great. And I think in a prequel format, you get to really explore, especially, I think of watching the first film as a child. Now this generation of children get to watch this film that we're making and see, oh no, he had to become great. Growing up watching this film, I just knew that Mufasa was great, I didn't know why he was great or how he was great, I just knew he was great. I think it's really cool for kids to see, or putting myself in my childhood sort of self, to really understand this person isn't just is great, they kind of became great through the experiences of their friends, their family, the journey they went on. Mufasa's so great, he's so perfect, and it's kind of nice to go back and get to be able to tell the story for kids to see, oh no, he wasn't born great, he's not just is great, he became great through his experiences.
This gorge is where all lions come to find their roar.
All lions? Even my dad?
Even Mufasa came here when he was your age. Refused to leave until his roar could be heard above the rim.
All the way up there?
That's when you know you found it.
This scene in particular will be interesting to see due to the history that occurred in the gorge. Watching young Mufasa work tirelessly in the same location where he perishes will be emotional, already knowing when Mufasa dies, he falls from the top of the gorge all the way to the bottom, possibly alluding to when he was a cub striving to have his roar heard from the top, perhaps connecting to his famous quote,
"But a king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun."
That's the circle of life at its finest.
The greatest leader the Pride has ever known.
Mufasa is truly the most decorated king in the history of the Pride Lands, the greatest leader the Pride has ever known. With a bold statement claiming such stature, he had to have done something no other previous king had accomplished. Perhaps something legendary, something mythic to earn that title. We'll just have to wait and be prepared until 2024 to find out.
Oh, I just can't wait.
You must stop watching The Lion King.
Long ago, you chose Mufasa over me, but now there is a new king. So stop being so selfish.
Going back to the first plot point covered, we now know the context as to why Scar would engage towards his revolting behavior by challenging Mufasa to a battle. Surely his reasons would justify these motives, only to discover it was all over a lioness, but not just any lioness, Sarabi, the future queen of the Pride Lands. I am curious to see how the relationship between young Scar and young Sarabi is portrayed, with Scar having such strong feelings for Sarabi he may have felt she's to die for.
I have tremendous respect for the Queen.
I will never be your queen.
I tried to make you understand what a true king can be.
Scar, a true king's power is his compassion.
I am 10 times the king Mufasa was.
You are nothing compared to Mufasa.
The reason Sarabi desired Mufasa has everything to do with Mufasa's compassion. This trait that distinguishes Mufasa from the other lions, especially in contrast with Scar, whose motives are driven by control rather than concern. Young Sarabi's decision will impact the events of the upcoming film significantly.
You can't win, Scar! This is my kingdom! My destiny!
It turns out Mufasa is adopted. Well, actually an orphan and later adopted by Scar's parents, making them stepbrothers.
And we assume that he was just born into his lineage, but Mufasa was actually an orphaned cub who had to navigate the world alone by himself.
Jenkins added that Mufasa wasn't born into royalty. Later on, he proceeded to say Mufasa was actually an orphaned cub who had to navigate the world alone by himself. Jenkins said of the prequel, "I'm telling this story, we get to experience the real journey of how Mufasa found his place in the circle of life. It is pretty awesome." All that aside, that would make Scar the heir to the throne due to him having royal blood in his veins, unlike his brother, and according to tradition, the mantle of king is passed down through bloodlines. Although Mufasa was probably the smart choice. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like and subscribe. If there's something you noticed or have heard about Mufasa 2024, comment down below and let me know. Until then,